What's up, everyone? I'm taking a break from playing silly decks to play something more serious today. This is Lutri Cascade. It's a Singleton deck, and I'm not going to go over every card. You can just look at it. And then here's the sideboard, and let's get into the games. And I'm probably not going to need to evoke an Endurance this turn, so I'm going to F6. The first version of this deck I played had multiples in the sideboard, so I could go into like 4 Leyline of the Void. I bring in 3 more Force of Negations. But I stopped doing that because that's cheating, and cheating is illegal. So if this guy's playing like a Faithless Looting deck, then might be a little boned. Don't have those 4 ley lines. Ley line is really good, especially with all the discard outlets I'm playing. Opponent takes Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which is preventing me from discarding this Atraxa. So that's smart by them. I do have 1 Surveil land in the deck. There's a Cascade spell. That's nice. And hopefully our plant token lives. Never quite know what you're going to get. I do have 1 Surveil land I can go get next turn. And then I can get a 3rd land with Misty Rainforest. So pretty nice, although it is a little bit bummer. Trax is not in the deck. Don't have a way to put it in my graveyard by turn 3. Opponent is playing Grixis. Slowly. They've taken 2 minutes to play 2 lands and cast 2 spells. Our opponent arises from their slumber and casts Expressive Iteration. This is looking like a creativity deck. The creativity players have largely been banished to the friendly leagues. Ooh, Waker Wave's not a bad one. Maybe I'll use that instead. On the 1 in 5 chance we hit Living End, Waker Waves would be a good one to get back. Not being in the deck for Glimpse of Tomorrow isn't quite as good. If our opponent were to do something, I wonder if they realize that Demonic Dread's the most threatening thing here. If our opponent were to, well, if we were to cast Inevitable Betrayal, our opponent could have something like Oculus, or at worst, like a Psychic Frog maybe, but I haven't given up on them being an Archon of Cruelty deck yet. They're just off to a slower start. I think what I'll do is get probably a Steam Vents and use this Waker of Waves. I forget what lands I have. We'll have to take a look. Opponent's a Death Shadows deck. At least we have a chump blocker. Let's see. Think of all of these cards I want Steam Vents. And maybe I can get a Subtlety and pitch the Subtlety with this Atraxa. Okay. Well, I could just cast Omnath on turn 4. So I think I will do that. We already have 4 lands. I don't need the Eagles of the North. We can produce chump blockers here for quite a while. Wingcaller Aven, not a bad one either. I'm going to proceed with my chump blocker strategy. And like putting creatures in our graveyard is okay, but there's only 1 in 5 chance we hit a Living End if we ever Cascade. So they're really just there to smooth out the deck. I'm going to block. And then during combat, guess I don't need to do this now. I'm thinking of enduranceing now, but I mean, our opponent probably isn't going to play Murktide Regent, and I'm basing that on nothing. So instead, what I'm going to do is get Proving Ground. And if they delve a spell here, then that just sucks. I think even if I drew an untapped 4th land, I would still play Endurance. Psychic Frog. Well, it's not really like a delve spell, but it is. Did I just save targets for that Windcaller Raven? That could be a problem. Get another permanent in play. And then we need to draw another Cascade spell here eventually. Although I could take a hit from the frog. Okay, they Fatal Push. While they're tapped out, I'll let this Endurance resolve. They could have like a counter spell. That limits the frog's ability to jump next turn. And now I can actually take a hit from Death Shadow to stop this frog from hitting me if it comes to that. And then next turn I can play Omnath and trigger it. Potentially twice if I draw fetch land. We're also 1 white mana away from Atraxa. Yeah, fetch land next turn would actually be huge. All right. I think what I'm going to do is block the frog. Now they have to pitch 3 cards from their hand. That's their entire hand. And they can't play a bunch of Street Wraiths and kill me unless they also have Temur Battle Rage. Okay, frog just eats it. Maybe they have another frog? They're bolting. The Endurance, Malevolent would be good. Second Death Shadow is a problem. Okay, Ancestral Vision. Oh shoot, I can't play this. I don't have enough land. Darn. I need white. This deck needs more white in it. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just play land and suspend. Catch a Triumph. Or no. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to cycle. I don't care what their Thoughtseize deck. I just want to F6 and see if they kill me. Alright. Let's see if they kill me. I could always just draw a Cascade spell and win next turn. They need to do 1 damage to themselves. Darn, I forgot I need white mana for Omnath. This is a hard deck to play, okay? When your cards are horrible and don't work together, it can be difficult. Fetch land is also somewhat good. Actually, no, fetch land is terrible. Because I don't have anything else I can cast. Okay, and the opponent draws Lightning Bolt. I will yield to that. Alright. What do we want to bring in. I think what we want to take out is Inevitable Betrayal. Hitting a Death Shadow doesn't seem very good. I think what I want to bring in... Maybe at some point during that game I could have gotten a Lutri to hand and cast it. I think I want to bring in Murktide. What else? I like the rest of my Cascade hits. Yeah, that's a perfect deck. So that last game highlighted to me how badly we need our Hollowed Fountain, because that's my only white mana source. So I'm really banking on fetch lands getting Hollowed Fountain. Let's start this game off a little better. We got a lot of nice expensive spells to cast. And that was the wrong land. All right, we're off to a great start. An untapped land most likely lets us Wave Sifter, which would be pretty cool. Bring to Light doesn't do a whole lot in this deck. I don't have any like one-hit combos to go get. Really, I can just go get one of my suspend spells. I really wish I could play Search for Tomorrow in this deck, but the problem is I don't want to hit it. Actually, no, you don't hit Search for Tomorrow because it has a regular casting cost. Okay, I should have played Search for Tomorrow in this deck. That's a staple of the Dank Living Dead archetype. That's a great land. Let's go get a blue forest. Well, we already have a blue forest. Let's go get a breeding pool. And then next turn, if they don't do anything too threatening, Teferi's pretty good play. So is Champion of Woods, actually. I think Champion is probably better next turn. And hopefully just attack for one. They don't have Delirium yet. I need to remember to put Lutri in my hand when I got nothing to do. Putting Lutri in your hand, the dream is like you suspend a Footfalls or a Ancestral Visions early in the game, and then you forget to attack with the Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay. So they took our Champion of Wits. This costs 7 to Eternalize. That's not really on the table. I think actually what I'm going to do is Wave Sifter. And like a Cascade spell into Glimpse of Tomorrow would be pretty sweet here. They play the Bauble, that's good. Still just sorcery, land. We may win this on time. The opponent's taken a long time over there. If I can get this game to take a while, and then really put the screws to them in game 3. Look at our graveyard. This would be a great living in. This would be a great Crashing Footballs. This would be great. Well, actually, it wouldn't be the best Crashing Footballs, but not going to Thoughtseize yet. Not going to cycle yet because of Thoughtseize. Now that they got Delirium, I think I'll bounce with Teferi if given the chance. Force of Negation, probably not the best against this player. Ooh, endurance is pretty good there too. Okay. They're probably going to fetch on this turn, and so I'm not going to cast endurance main phase. Yes. All right. So fetching there might be a mistake for them, although I don't think you play around singletons. Because now if I endurance during combat, they're going to need another fetch land to trigger revolt. Well, they have it. Darn. But at least my endurance, once it resolves, will own this Necrogoyf for a little bit. DRC must attack. We cast endurance. Hopefully no counterspells. No counterspells. Nice. I think I would even fight with this Force of Negation over a removal spell, and I would pitch Bring to Light. All right. Endurance taking over games. All right. Let them surveil. Okay, they surveil a land. I will force. If I have more lands, I might keep Bring to Light. But I do not. Opponent cast Stubborn Denial. Was not expecting that one. Well, nothing I can do about that. So they are going to get us here. We do reset their graveyard. I can bounce Nethergoyf. Man, the friendly leagues are just the Stubborn Denial test. I got blown out. If you guys haven't watched my Pure Living In, that was also a friendly league. And I got blown out by Stubborn Denial like 2 or 3 times. I should have played around it. But I didn't. Okay, now what are they doing? Do you want a Fatal Push? You've got Revolt. Oh, they're using their whole hand to keep their Dragon's Rage Channeler alive. That's an interesting play. That actually does make Teferi much worse next turn. So I think they remember the Teferi. Cascade spell, let's go. One time. Okay, that's not a Cascade spell. That's actually that's interesting. I can buy myself a lot of time. I think I'm gonna do that. Going to look for a land. I do need more lands, I think, to play this game. I could potentially just take some hits here. And I can also use Sky Turtle to bounce something. There's nothing that good in my graveyard to rebuy. I mean, this is optimistic. But, you know me. I mean, look at me. Look at this deck. I'm insane. Opponent somehow doesn't have Delirium. If they stay not having Delirium, we can potentially bounce 2 things. And if I ever do get to cast that Ancestral Vision, that would be pretty cool. Opponent casts EI. There's no way they should end this turn without Delirium. So this is getting a little dicey. Yep, they hit their creature. So I'm going to take 7 this turn, it looks like. They exile Thoughtseize, but I have a bounce spell no matter what. I think at the end of a Moto game, there should be a calculation based on how much time you have left, and then depending on how much you lost by, like there should be like a application where like each minute you're ahead on your opponent, it gives you an extra life, and then you actually won the match if you. I don't know. Is anyone else? Because I just hate slow play. It's annoying. I think it only takes about. It shouldn't take you more than 15, 20 minutes to play 3 games if you're actually paying attention to what you're doing. It makes editing these videos awful when the opponent plays slow like this. Well, our opponent's board got way bigger than I thought it would. But we are allowed to draw a Cascade spell here. And our worst Cascader is out of our deck. Our worst suspend card, I mean. Okay. Ticking down. Waker of Babes. Not what I need. I can't even play Teferi. I should have pitched that. Well, yeah, they've got us. Unfortunately, I can't do anything there. I didn't draw enough lands. I'll keep. You know, whatever. Actually, this is terrible. This is so bad. But you already know what it is. Ooh, it's this really old-looking Frodo Baggins player, but they're playing what looks to be Belcher, Red Belcher. If I could draw my one Force of negation, we could probably stave off losing for 1 turn. Omnath, not a bad start. No, it's not Belcher. They got me excited about nothing. Looks like Scapeshift or something, maybe. Or Storm. It could be Storm. We've actually got a sideboard for Storm. Let's go. So I'm on a record. I'm just claiming it's 20-0. I have not lost to Storm in the calendar year of 2025, online or on paper, with Living End. Technically, I have Living End in my deck, but if I lose to this, I am not admitting that my streak is broken, because this isn't really Living End. This is Rhinos. This is Rhinos, guys. This is not Living End. I don't care about Rhino's streak. Rhino's got Violent Outburst banned, and then all the players quit. So, you know, that's what I think about Rhinos. But I am playing it. All right. Now I just need desperately land. Ideally, fetch land. I think all my fetches will be good here. Well, opponent's starting to pop off. I wonder if I should bring in Beseiju for this. No, I shouldn't, because they have others to go get. All right. Why does this Frodo Baggins just look so, like, old and constipated? Now, opponent could flip this Ral and then Twin Bolt our 2 plant tokens. They failed so far twice. I don't think they can have a big storm turn here, but I could be wrong. Faithless Looting, I mean, I don't think we're going to go over 3. That's a 12%, or they just chose. They could just be choosing not to flip. That's probably more likely. I'm not reading the game chat. Okay. If we don't draw land on our next draw step, I'm pretty good to leave the game. Opera Love Song? This is just another version of this. Yeah. Okay. I think I've seen enough. I will concede the game. I've got some good Cascade hits for these guys. Yeah. We got High Noon, Dranith. I'm going to take out my suspend cards. I'm going to bring in Commandeer. That's a counter spell. I'm bringing Clarion to shut down his Planeswalker if he flips it. And I think a Foundation Breaker. Maybe Knight of Autumn. It's a great deck. One thing I've noticed this deck is very bad at doing is cascading. I've played a couple leagues with it before that I didn't even post because they went so bad. But I'm going to post this league no matter what. That's a good hand. Got colors. I didn't even get to cascade very often, even though I have like 5, 6 cascade spells in the deck. And I'm going to start just like I have been, because I've got really good mana. Play our plant token. Colony Garden. It's pretty cool art. It's just a big blob of plants. Halo Forger, not bad. Let's play that. Opponent's probably like, what? I hope I've got another swamp. I think I've got the Jun Triome. We'll find out. I got the Jun Triome. Let's go. Okay. Nothing to snipe with this Knight of Autumn. Nothing to hit in my graveyard. So how do I do the most disruption this turn? I think it is with Clarion Conqueror. So now our opponent needs a lightning bolt effect, or they can't have a big turn with Ral. They can go off in other ways. If they do something like cast Strike It Rich, I can Halo Forager it. Yeah, they exile 2 cards. What'd they hit? Just lands. They play one of the lands. And a Ruby Medallion. Nice. That plays right into our hand. Hopefully they give up for the turn. No, it looks like they're starting something. Not the best Reckless Impulse. They could play another Ruby Medallion if they have nothing else to do, which is a little bit unfortunate. And I know Clarion Conqueror is not the best against this deck. However, it does stop Ral, and Ral is what allows them to have like huge turns. Ral is like another version of Past in Flames. Okay. Null Drifter's not bad, but I think what I'm going to do is snipe that. What do I want? I think I actually want that card. I think that's more threatening in a long game, which I'm setting up for. And I'm going to play the Misty with the plans to go get my Surveil land. My 1 Surveil land. I could Surveil something into the graveyard for this Halo Forager. And we're just kind of hoping our opponent cooperates. Well, they don't need Ral for Past in Flames because they've got their own. But I think taking out Artist Talent, well, no, I don't think that was right. I think I should have gone after the mana. Like, Artist Talent would have allowed them to fill up their graveyard, but they couldn't cast this many spells. So, actually, I'm going to hold control. Darn, I should have Architected. I don't know why I let Past in Flames resolve. I could have Architects of Will cycled and tried to hit my one copy of Force of Negation. That was so stupid of me. Well, I'm going to do it. Should I do it now, or is that just making Grape Shot kill me easier? They are almost out of stuff. Let's just see where this goes. Past in Flames is more expensive from the graveyard. Let's just see if I'm dead. We get a turn. They have 8 cards. Now what they should do is just Orange Chant here, but they can't. They can't do it somehow. Well, I didn't fetch, but I was just expecting to be dead. Do I have anything good in my graveyard? No. Do they have anything good in their graveyard? No, not for 1 mana. And let's just evoke the Null Drifter, but first let's try to put a Force of Negation on top. I've got Thundering Falls. Ooh, Teferi doesn't actually do anything against them. They can go off entirely at instant speed, so they don't need Teferi. And if I get more turns, I can Bale Merc. Next turn, I can Bring to Light for... If I get another turn, I can Bring to Light for, like, High Noon. No, I can Bring to Light for Drannith Magistrate. Nice. They cast Talent. Can they go off again? Well, they're acting like they can. They might just be doing that to cycle, though. Also, that was from hand. Why wouldn't you cast the one from exile? They drew that for the turn, because if that was in their hand... No, they couldn't do it last turn. Never mind. I was going to say, they could have stopped me from attacking. Yeah, they're just casting Orange Chance to cycle here. They bring in Fragmentize against us. Pretty based, I guess. Yeah, there's Ral. But he can't activate any abilities. And now I think it's pretty simple. We Force Cycle. Get Stomping Ground. Pay it. And then Bring to Light for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. And with all these amazing cards available to us, I'm going to get Drannith Magistrate. Boom. That's the best 5-mana play you've ever seen. See if they're talking about it. No. No one's ever impressed with my deck. You know, if somebody used a Lutri deck to cast Bring to Light into Drannith Magistrate against me, I'd probably say something. Like about their mom. Do I want Force of Vigor just as something to do? I think I want Boseiju. And I'm going to take out... Teferi can return like their creatures and their stuff to their hand, but it's really... Gosh, Teferi is just like difficult on my mana. I think I want Ingot Chewer. For those 2 cards, I will take out Omnath. I want Turtle in case I ever get to rebuy something. Omnath Atraxa. Alright, submit deck. That's a perfect deck. I know I said the last one was perfect, but this one's really perfect now. With Lutri Cascade. I tried over the winter, I did 2 leagues, I went 0-10, but I did get some game wins. I was actually very close. I think I got like 5 game wins. Okay. I've never, I don't think, even put Lutri in my hand. Well, we've got Force of Negation. The problem is Null Drifter isn't blue, but I'm going to keep this hand. I can go get a Surveil land. Actually, no, I don't want to get a Surveil land. I want to use Misty to get a turn 2 Overlord. I can hopefully return a blue creature then. Not going to do that yet. 5 lands is a little bit too many, so we need to stop drawing those. And I've also got my white mana, so we could also just hit Drannith Magistrate and win the game. Now, nothing in my deck besides Colossal Sky Turtle allows me to return High Noon to my hand from my graveyard if it ends up there. Do these kind of look like the Twin Towers to anybody? Anybody else? 9/11. Hallowed Fountain. Like, I could see people jumping off of that. But there's a fountain, so they can use that water to put the fire out. What were they thinking in New York City? This is how you build a building. Well, 2 buildings next to each other. Our opponent's taking a big think. Ooh, nice. Oh, wait, no, it's still my turn. They get the Parlour. Elegant Parkour. I mean, could you do parkour here? It's not really the best looking parkour course. You could play the floor as lava, I guess. You guys swing across those drapes. The impulse. That's not what I want to force anyway. I want to force the big boy spell. But let's get Thundering Falls. Oh shoot. I didn't leave I didn't get black mana. I want that. Darn it. Forgot my black mana is like what I'm doing. And I'm guaranteed to hit High Noon. Alright, I really want to just draw blue. Well, shoot. That is my blue card. Okay. Okay, we have to dodge Orm's Chant. That was really bad by me. No, not yet. Hopefully opponent takes another setup turn. They don't have their Ral in play yet, so we have that going for us. They cast Ral. And then they can cast this Ren's Resolve. But they've got Ritual. Shoot, do I need to counter? Do I need to force this? I don't think I need to force this yet. We don't lose if I don't force this. I'm going to make sure I go get that black mana right now, though. I think I want this one. Yeah, they Ren's Resolve. They still have 4 cards in hand, so I'm not going to force that. Yes, they hit 2 lands. That was probably a nightmare scenario for them. Now they have to have more rituals if they're going to keep going. Yes. Yes, that could not have gone better. Blue card. Yes, we got a blue card. Cascade. Draenith Magistrate. They can play those lands from exile. Maybe the opponent will give up. They play a Bloodstained Mire. Was that one from exile? Yeah, they could have played this because they're not casting it. I'll let them know. Hope I'm not being a jerk. Not trying to be. It's a friendly league, so I figure maybe players are new. Like there should only be 2 players in the friendly leagues. There should be people playing ridiculous decks, and there should be people who aren't as experienced with the format. And then there was me when I started this channel. I was very experienced with the format. I was just too cheap to pay competitive leagues. But I quit doing that because you get games so much faster in the comp leagues. What did I tell you? I can't lose to Storm. Round number 3, Lutri Cascade. We've got a turn 1 suspend crashing footfalls. That's what we're all about. Keep that hand. I'll get my microphone plugged in. Boom. And I don't want to draw any more Cascade spells, so I'm not going to cycle Street Wraith yet. I need... Let's get Breeding Pool and Suspend. Take a big sip for that one. Opponent plays Thundering Falls. Is this another Storm player? No, it's a Prowess player. Oh, they're going to smoke us. We're going to get absolutely... Ooh, all right. Take that. We're going to get absolutely bamboozled here. Do I want Colony Garden? That does provide a chump blocker, but that's not a good use of Colony Garden. And it's nice having no good cards in my hand. I can just pass the turn. Hopefully we dodge the Core Steel Cutter here. Opponent has DRC into another DRC. And no follow-up. Nice. Suppose I should probably I think what I'll do is put Lutri to hand here. How do I put my companion in my hand? There we go. Never actually used a companion before. That's my first time ever. All right. So now I think I would still pitch Wingcaller Aven because I have most of what I need to win the game. I just got to survive. Opponent gets 2 Surveil triggers. They've got half of Delirium. Lutri is target spell you control, so I can't even take like one of their expressive iterations or something. We got instant creature. sorcery. So they still need like a Mishra's Bauble. They play the Steam Vents. I don't know. I don't really like countering that. It only saves 1 damage. So I can make 4 rhinos when this Footfalls eventually comes off of Suspend. I could also die. Do I want to go to 10? Yeah. I think what I want to do is go to 10 and have this subtlety to chump block with. Not going to suspend Inevitable Betrayal. That seems irrelevant. I'm going to take this out. And hopefully our opponent just like can't. There's land, so now they have Delirium. I can at least block. Hopefully they just like cast another creature here. No, that's not what I wanted to see. And I only have 1 Force of Negation in my deck. So I have to just let that resolve. But oh man, this is going to be so sweet if I make a bunch of 4/4s that don't have reach. Hopefully no follow-up here. Opponent has a follow-up. Well, I can counter that. Still might be dead here. Might need to hit a Cascade spell and hit a Living End, like immediately. Which would wipe out my rhinos. If opponent attacks with everything, how do I block? I think block the 3 guarantee. That makes the Living End better in the future. And we probably just die to like a mutagenic growth or something. Yes, Lava Dart. All right. Does this kill me? I think it does. They Lava Darted Subtlety for some reason. We get a turn. All right, well, the problem is, do I have... I don't have any instants or sorceries in my graveyard. So even if I were to draw a Painless Land and go Goblin Dark Dwellers, I don't have anything good. I have to bank on drawing something here. I cannot Lutri the Rhinos because I died to the Flyer. But I've got Windcaller Aven. All right. I think I actually do that then. Cast Lutri. And they don't have a Lava Dart. Nice. Copy Crashing Footfalls. I'm like the Rhino exhibit at the zoo. Fabled Mirror, not really the best in this matchup. And now hopefully opponent just thinks they have a free win by attacking here with their DRC. And then I could have a lethal crackback depending on how they attack. Opponent casts a Swift Spear. That can resolve. I have 5 blockers. They have 5 attackers. Preordain is a little bit obnoxious, though, because they can just dig for a burn spell. I die to the double strike spell, but not to a mutagenic growth at the moment. Quarry only triggers once each turn, so they're done making new men. But they might not be done making nude men. Oh, what a bummer. Okay, well, they're targeting me. They could have targeted me last turn too, so yeah, sure. All right. Almost a fun game. Let's see what we draw. Draw a card. Misty would have killed us. That would have killed us. All right, we weren't gonna probably win. That was almost sweet though. All right, begin sideboarding. So I don't want Betrayal. I don't want Giant Murktide Regent. I think what I want is Beseiju, Knight of Autumn. I think Fracturing Gust is a little too expensive. I think I want Foundation Breaker and Ingot Chewer. Is High Noon where I want to be? Yeah, I don't think any of my Cascade cards are good except Living End and High Noon. I don't think they have like enough artifacts that I want Shatterstorm, because I'm probably just killing like one Core Steelcutter with that. On the play, I want Teferi. And I'm going to take out Wave Sifter because it's way too slow. And I think I can take out Omnath because it's not blue. Sure. I feel good about this matchup now. Well, there's our one of Beseiju, and I need it to go get another land. That being said, this is a keepable hand. I could maybe do something. I'm just going to friggin' Mountain Cycle now. I think I've got a Jund to Triome. I've also got Grixis Triome, which is better. Alright, and hopefully opponent just does nothing for several turns. Alright, opponent skips their first turn and goes to cleanup. They know about my Living End strat. Shrimpy boy, I'm sorry. Alright, opponent was a major homie there. There's our Colony Garden. Not the best land in our deck. Next turn we can Overlord of the Belmerk. And we have one target in our deck for Goblin Dark Dwellers. I think. I might have more. Okay, opponent has a pretty good hand. Pretty good start considering they skipped a turn. Really just looking for like a Shardless Agent. Oops, wrong spell. I want Overlord. Overlord resolves, yes. Ooh, okay. I want Shardless Agent. That's good no matter what I get. So next turn I'm either going to cast Living End or High Noon. I think both are reasonable. I think I would rather cast Living End. Yeah, because I mean my board's pretty good. My graveyard, I mean. And this Omnath could actually become a mana fixer. Opponent can now cast a free spell. Yep, there's the Mishra's Bauble. I'm just going to save one life because I don't have a Glimpse of Tomorrow in the deck anymore. And we cast Shardless Agent. What do we hit? High Noon, not the best. I would have liked to hit that living end. Hopefully this just buys us some time to not die to this one token. And the problem is I can't Cascade anymore, but I can use the High Noon's ability to actually kill something, and I only need to play one more land to do that. I'm so tired of dying to this card whenever I play against energy. All right, I can High Noon that if I wanted to. I think what I do is going to depend on if I draw any more Cascade spells. My next Cascade spell is guaranteed to be Living End, which is pretty good. I think I want to start with Risen Reef. Man, I got a lot of mono green lands. I forget what this card does, but it's pretty good. I'm going to like draw a card or put a land into play, I think. I used to play this on Arena. With Risen Reef on the stack, opponent has a good think. They consign to memory the trigger, triggering prowess. So I will not be attacking with my Shardless Agent. And now I cannot cast any more spells this turn, but what I can do is use my Troll, making future living ends even better, and go get the Proving Ground and play it. Overlord continues its slow march to the battlefield, and then next turn I can High Noon. I can also Season Pyromancer, but that's only making 2 creatures. It's not that good in the face of Trample and Flying. Unfortunately, nothing I have right now is good to jump with Windcaller Aven. Opponent casts a Lightning Bolt, and now they're done casting spells for the turn. I could High Noon down this DRC. Might be better to just like shock the land in, cast Goblin Dark Dwellers. Creatures I control get +1 plus a first strike. That's not even castable. Alright. So if I want to take some damage, I can go get... I do have 2 red. I can go get my 1 plains. The 1 plains that I possess. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea when I was deck building, but there it is. And then... Well, what do I want to do this turn? I can like... Worst case scenario, I can like Windcaller. Yeah, I'm just going to go for a good turn here. I'm going to look for another Cascade spell. I don't really want either of these. I'm just going to get Basic Forest because I'm going to play the Hallowed Fountain tap this turn. And I think I'll use Windcaller Aven now to just save some life. It's not often you get 6 lands in play against this deck. And you're at 13 life. Oh, I can't use Windcaller. I used all my blue. I still think it was probably worth it to save the life, though. I mean, I only saved I saved myself 1 life by doing that anyway, so. Or I cost myself 1 life by doing that, I mean. Yeah, that wasn't good. I am going to save the damage here. I realize this has trample, but this plant token is totally worthless. So 1 life could actually matter. All right. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 mana next turn. See what I draw. Misty Rainforest, not very good. I would really like to Surveil, but I would also not like to take damage. All right. Just going to cast Dark Dwellers as a chunky blocker. They might just counter this. Nope, they don't. All right. Well, I can't cast that anyway, and it's only a Force of Negation. No, what would I even target? On the off chance I live, I'm going to play that Misty so that I can Surveil. I'm going to plan to jump. Overlord comes down. I should have attacked with Risen Reef. They could have consigned to memory that Overlord trigger if they had it. So now they shouldn't probably attack with the Monk token. And that's a perfect opportunity to block with Overlord, I think. Because if they have Lightning Bolt, Lava Dart, they could kill Goblin Dark Dwellers. But they can't do that with Overlord. They have Lava Dart, target me. So I'm at 6 now. Effectively. I could just have a lethal crackback, depending on how they block or attack. I'm going to target Overlord like I discussed. That was not a good draw. Let's actually Surveil and see what I've got. This is meaningless, because I could do this anytime, but I'm doing it now. Coney Garden's not exactly what I was hoping for there. I've got a lot of lands. For a deck with 20 lands. Alright, we will block. This is probably going to eat a Lightning Bolt. This thing attacking is quite good. And I'm not even sure who this High Noon is helping more. I kind of think it's helping me more. I think my opponent probably has a lot they could do. Anyway, I'm going to go to combat and attack with just Overlord and plan to pick up Omnath. All right. Knight of Autumn's not bad. Teferi, not great. Going to get Omnath. Now they have to have straight up counterspell to beat that. Teferi might have been good as well. Teferi plus High Noon's kind of a lock. They're never casting a counterspell and they can only cast 1 spell on their turn. Maybe Teferi was the play there. Pick up Teferi, bounce the Monk. I just kind of want to gain life though. I can trigger 1. Yeah, I can trigger this up to 4. I can get a lot of mana, that's what I'm saying. In second main, we're going to go white, green, red, blue. I'm probably going to play some Glimpse of Tomorrow too with Omnath in it. Boom, that's an elemental trigger. That's the reason we played Risen Reef. Look at that. Another land. Look at the card. Look at it. Okay. Goes to hand. Fetch. Do I want the living end? If I living ended, what happens? All right. So the second time I do this, opponent's just being kind of slow, even though I have less time on my clock, because this game's taking me a while to figure out. I gotta be careful I don't ship my turn here. Oh, come on. All right, we got there. How do I want to go about playing game 3? I really don't want to have a Traxa in my deck, but if I somehow manage to living end with it, that would be great. Normally, I kind of like Commandeer against them, but I actually don't have like that many blue cards that I can pitch it to. I like Commandeer or normal living end because you can pitch it to Force of Will or Force of Negation. Same thing, really. I don't think Cascade is going to be that reliable. Drannith, is that good? No. No. Kataki War's Wage is not good. Yeah, I think this is just the deck. Maybe on the draw I want Force of Vigor instead of Bring to Light. Because Bring to Light is one of the few cards in the deck that doesn't have a cheat mode to get rid of it. And on the draw, I don't think I can bank on my opponent skipping their first turn too many games in a row. That's a decent hand. I've got a living end. I don't have living end in my deck. I can Force of Negation one spell, and then I can't even cast Seasoned Pyromancer. Unfortunately, I'm going to mulligan this. Even though I've got Singleton colors, I'm going to mulligan. That's pretty good. All right. I don't need all of these fetch lands. Just going to have to draw third land. And Endurance is actually very good against this. So, like, all the cards I have, even though this is a Singleton deck, are reasonable to good in the matchup. So I think what I'll do, nice, there's all my colors. Still going to Surveil because I want to do something. And there's no way to get around taking damage from my lands here. So at least I'm going to get a Surveil out of it. The other thought there was play Hallowed Fountain on turn 1. Maybe I can draw Cycler on turn 2. Let's look at the top of my deck. Depending on what's on top of my deck, this could be worth a subtlety. Well, I don't want that. I think that's fine because Endurance beats that card pretty good. I also need another green. Maybe should have kept that Ketria Triumph. Opponent has another one. Hopefully they don't have a bauble to follow up here. All right, we got lucky. Architects of William. All right, there's another fetch land. So we have their green mana. Just going to take my lumps here. I think what I want is my Proving Ground. Right, yeah. That's all my colors now. Am I going to have time for this to fairy? This Monastery Swiftsteer could represent a lot of damage right now. And the only reason you bring Teferi in this matchup normally is to just kind of be a damage sponge. So I think by pitching it, that's actually what I'm doing. They can't now cast like Corey Steelcutter and trigger it. So this turn gets way less scary. And like if they have something like double bobble here, they would have done it last turn. But if they have like one bobble here, that could get really bad. So Teferi did his job. He's a damage sponge. Now they preordain anyway. They might not even keep that Swift Spear. I was kind of hoping they would give me an artifact to destroy with Knight of Autumn, but maybe it's a blessing they haven't yet. I can go get like a Stomping Ground or a Breeding Pool next turn. And Hardcast Endurance, which hopefully will just blow my opponent out. They Lava Dart. Sorcery creature, sorcery instant land. No, they have sorcery land. Still don't have delirium. Sorcery land creature. That's what I mean. Now they have instant. Okay. Yeah, this would be 1 and then 2, 3. This would be 9 damage coming in if I hadn't bounced subtle. Unfortunately, that was the right play. Basic force would be sweet. All these anti-artifact cards just coming at the wrong time. Okay, well maybe it won't be too bad here. Maybe I'll get to blow them out. Oh, I should have enduranced. Oh, well, I kind of wanted to blow them out in combat. I'll let them surveil. This gets more cards. Now that I've gone to their turn, I should just let them surveil. But I possibly should have lava or have endurance last turn. I think if they play a prowess creature, I'll endurance with that on the stack so that their lava dart can't trigger it. Lava dart's an instant though, so there's if they're gonna sacrifice their land, they can do it whenever they want. Hopefully they chill out. Like if they want to skip another turn, that'd be huge. Slick shot show off. Actually, I could end up getting them pretty good here. If endurance lives through this turn, yeah, because now when I endurance, I'm gonna go get Stomping Ground. Pay the life. Cast Endurance. It's going to shrink those Dragon's Rage Channelers no matter what. They don't even have consign memory up. And then if I can just get a clean block on this show off and it lives, that would be huge. Even if it doesn't, I can play Knight of Autumn, gain life. Maybe. Actually, if I had to play just like a raunchy, rancid Knight of Autumn next turn, yeah, they forgot about that. I was hoping they would forget about that. They go after Endurance. But I still think I just block Slick Shot show off. And Cascade spell would be huge. Beseiju. Oh, just all the anti-artifact stuff. Alright, I'm just going to gain life. Cast Knight of Autumn. Just going to gain life and hope that this can trade. I only gain 2 life from doing that. And next turn I've got Ingot Chewer. But if they draw a Steel Cutter here, they can probably trigger it too. Well, there's Steel Cutter. Hopefully they can't trigger it. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. Because Ingot Chewer coming down, getting a Steel Cutter would be pretty cool. They have 2 out of Delirium. They kept a card in hand last turn. No, they couldn't. Come on. I think this is gonna kill me no matter what. Okay, their prowesses didn't do the trick. Do they send with everybody? They could have just surveilled another. They didn't do anything. Okay. They could have surveilled another lightning bolt to the top. Play. And I'm going to hardcast Ingot Chewer. If I can draw a land next turn, I can hardcast that Ent. Now that did give them. Darn it. Oh, I didn't think about that hard enough. Well, shoot. That gave them. Oh, well. They can't even forget to attack. I didn't think about that very hard. I mean, suppose I just my other play there was cycle the Ent, which just puts a land in my hand. Like, what was my next card? Force negation. Capture Sunlight could have been good. Oh well. On to the next. Round number 4, Lutri Cascade. This hand's got 2 lands, and it's got potential, plus a Force of negation. If I could bin something with Thundering Falls, that would be huge. Like, bin an Atraxa, hit Living End. Bin like a... Ooh, it's Titan. It's Titan with Stomping Ground. Do they play Stomping Ground normally? I guess. This actually just looks like Scape Shift. Titan Shift. Eagles of the North. I'm going to bin that. That's going to make this 1 and 3 shot at Living End way better. Alright, so I'm just saving Force of Negation for Scape Shift at this point. Couldn't do anything about that if I wanted to. Opponent has 4 lands on turn 2. Pretty normal. Gonna go get my planes, singular. Could have also suspended Glimpse of Tomorrow. Maybe that's what I should have done. Well, I don't really need the planes, so I'll just play Fetch Land. The thing about Glimpse of Tomorrow is copying it with Lutri doesn't necessarily make it better unless you know your first one's going to be big. Like if you're just doing a 3 or 4 Glimpse, the first one might be better than the second one, and then you're just stuck with the second one. Opponent has Dwarven Mime. This does not strike me as an Archon of Cruelty deck, though. This forest is way too, like, Palm Tree. I think I'll go get the Jund Triome here. Yeah, this is just Dwarven Mine Beatdown. The usual suspects, really. And we'll get the Jund Triome. No, yeah, Jund. I get Grixis and Jund confused. I have Confusion. Alright, nothing good in my graveyard yet. So I'm just going to play a tap land. And then... Oh, I want to suspend Glimpse. Duh, that's why I got the red. Alright, see you in a couple turns. Glimpse of Tomorrow. Opponent's not killing us that quick. We still have Force of Negation. I cannot overstate the extent to which Force of Negation is keeping our family together right now. Search for Tom. You guys remember Tom from MySpace? I was friends with him. I'm going to keep this token around. Until they can put a Valakut in play, I'm not that scared. Yeah, see, they bolt the plant token. But I'm not going to force that, because I'm not insane. Alright. Ooh. I can't cast that. So I have to shock myself anyway. And because I have to shock myself, I'm going to do Bloodbraid Elf. And then if I hit a good one, I can Halo Forager next turn. No. See, the thing about Bloodbraid Elf is it might hit your 3-drops. That's fine. It doesn't matter that much because the key thing that's keeping me alive in this game is having Force of Negation. I don't think I'm ever going to suspend Inevitable Betrayal. Opponent has 6 mana, but they did not cast Primeval Titan. I think they Lightning Bolt the token. Okay, I'm just gonna block this dwarf. I don't think attacking our opponent was a good move last turn. And hopefully they draw Scapeshift and not Primeval Titan. Oh, they Summoner's Pact, so I have to counter that. I'm gonna pitch Ardent Plea because then I can dump Inevitable Betrayal next turn and then play it with Halo Forager and get a Primeval Titan out of their deck, which probably isn't good enough to win, but it will make my Glimpse of Tomorrow better. That being the case, I'm not going to take that BS from no stinking dwarf token. And really, this is just a good, clean game of Magic. Discard up to 2 cards. Yes. 1, 2. What's in my graveyard? Inevitable Betrayal, and that's it. I'm going to play my land. Omnath being in our hand and not in our deck kind of stinks, because this can one-shot kill them. Opponent has no cards in hand, though. Okay, I think I actually should attack. Yeah, I can go black, blue. Yeah, I'm going to cycle just to see what happens. Hopefully I don't draw a living end. Sky Turtle is good. Is that a win somehow? No, it is not. All right. Gonna cast Halo 4. I could have saved that land and like lightning bolted, but I don't want to do that. Done. Have to cast Inevitable. Okay. Totally normal stuff here. Cast it, target them. And let's see what our options are. They have Cultivator Colossus. I don't have any lands. Or I can just Primeval Titan. You know, actually, Primeval Titan is just a reasonable card anyway with a Glimpse of Tomorrow. And now they have 1 fewer Primeval Titan in their deck. Yes. I'm going to go get... None of my lands can gain me any life, unfortunately. And I don't have any like bounce lands or Teleria West. I'm going to get Colony Garden. Just random Triome. Guess I should have got a black Triome in case I wanted to cast a Hard Overlord. All right. The only potential issue I can see here is this Primeval Titan's going to go to their graveyard, if that somehow matters. Now, Reflection of the Mirror Breaker doesn't have haste, otherwise there'd be some tricks I could do next turn. If I had another blue card in my hand, what I could have done was held up Sky Turtle to get Force of Negation. Yeah, they target me. They drew that, though. It's a mountain. Okay. And I can actually, if I want to, I can save this Halo Forager. I'm trying to think if there's a reason I want to save Halo Forager. I think I want to take the risk. Well, yeah, I want to take the risk right now to save Halo Forager because if for some reason, I mean, I guess I could have saved it, gotten Force Negation too. That was kind of bad. But if for some reason my glimpse is terrible, I can glimpse again. Holding control. Ah, forgot to make lands. Dang it. I thought I was holding control. No. But I do get Omnath. That's pretty sweet. Alright, that Omnath bailed me out. I meant to hold control and make a bunch of mana there. I realize it's my upkeep, so I wouldn't keep it. I'm just clicking these in random orders. But if I drew like cards with activated abilities, I could have used them. A little bit of a bad play. I should have kept. Yes, use the ability. Discard that and that. Still no living ends in my graveyard. Bottom. Bottom. I can't do anything. Oh, and for whatever reason, oh yeah, Primeval Titan doesn't go away because I stole it. Nice. Well, I don't have any graveyard abilities, so I lose my mana. But then I go to my draw step. And I get to attack. I need to get, let's see. I'm going to get Island and I need black. Do I have any untapped black? No. Darn it. Don't have any untapped black mana. So I'll get the Grixis, I guess. Omnath is done triggering. Oh, Primeval Titan lands are always tapped. Alright. I don't want to go to 9. That's 3 mountains. Yeah. Okay. And then I can triple trigger Omnath again next turn if I live. I'd forgotten that I was going to get to keep this Primeval Titan. I don't know if I can play Glimpse of Tomorrow with this computer. It's too slow. I know I was a little bit slow there, but this computer is also kind of slow. All right. Bread and butter win there. High Noon doesn't do much because they just ramp so fast. Do I want Commandeer for Scape Shift? Not really. I want Knight of Autumn, Beseiju, Ingot Chewer for their Foundation Breaker. Force of Vigor. And out, I want Ancestral Vision, I think. To Fairy out. It doesn't do anything. They're not an instant speed deck. I think I want to leave in my explosive things that could win the game out of nowhere. Do I want Footfalls? No. Is Endurance important? I don't think it is against this version. This seems like an old kind of boomer build of the deck. I don't think they're using like graveyard loops. Captured Sunlight actually seems kind of good. Let me take out the, I need to take out 3 cards. I think Ancestral Vision is just not very good. Inevitable is good enough. It's got to cut 2 more cards. I'd like to cut non-blue cards, but I don't want to cut Ingot Chewer. Street Wraith is just good. I guess I'll cut Glassy D. That's a blue card for Force, though. But I only have 1 Force. Season Pyro is kind of rough on the mana. And I guess Wave Sifter would have been so good that last game. What was my initial thought? Let's cut Architects. Architects would be kind of good to resolve with the Living End, though. That's a decent hand. Can suspend his Glimpse again. Is our opponent going to get PTSD from suspending Glimpses? I can get like a Stomping Ground next turn. Then I have all 5 colors. And I kind of just need this Fable of the Mirror Breaker to draw me a Force of Negation. Or like a Subtlety. Subtlety doesn't deal with Primeval Titan as good as Force of Negation deals with Summoner's Pack, though. You know what I mean? I remember when not Commercial District, but the cycling the cycling fetchable tap lanes came out. I was so excited. I was going to put those in my Scapeshift deck. I built the whole deck. I never played it once. I have so many old Modern decks that just got... Okay, there we go. Play. Kaboom. We are so off to the races, by the way. Excuse me, that jank player in my presence. I think I'm the jank player now. Opponent's got a pretty good start here. They're tapping their lands. They're surveilling. They're keeping those cards on top. They're playing their they're just suspending Search for Tomorrow. They're not playing Amulet. They're just playing straight up Scapeshift. Good God, that's a lot of Cascade cards. Well, going to 18 means Scapeshift kills you. But F it, we ball. Opponent's not ramping. Boom. Boom. Now, I don't think I'm going to Cascade next turn. I think I'm going to do like Fable, the Mirror Breaker, or Risen Reef. Try to put something in my graveyard. I think Fable's the best card to play next turn. That's a problem. That ramps him a lot. Because that accelerates their Scapeshift kill by a turn. Okay. Just gonna ball here. Yeah, opponent gets another land. 6 mana actually kills me with Scapeshift now. Or is it 5? Is it 5 on the mountains or 6? Flare of Cultivation. You may sacrifice blah blah blah. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Well, yeah, okay, they're just cast. There's just a ramp spell. We get another turn here to dig. And unfortunately, this game's kind of just in our opponent's hands. I'm glad I took out Teferi. It wouldn't do anything. That has one more counter on it. Force of Vigor is kind of good, I guess. Yeah, can I blow them out? I'm going to discard... I don't need 2 land cyclers. I'm just going to discard these 2. Okay, so the only hits left in my deck are Living End and Inevitable Betrayal. On their next turn, I could Force of Vigor in their upkeep. Yeah. All right, I'm going to use Generous Ent here. Just going to get Forest. I think suspending the footballs at this point is kind of futile. So, but Shardless Agent is a creature. And then I'm going to plan to pitch Footfalls. All right, we get Living End. Not the strongest Living End I've ever seen, but at least it doesn't make our... Well, it gets rid of our opponent's creature. Now, they probably still just have enough mountains left in their deck next turn. Do I gain any life? No, I don't get any life, unfortunately. Look at it. There it is. All right. Now, if I had 1 more mana and I hadn't, cycled, I could have activated that food token up to 18, which would still be exactly lethal. So, yeah, 18 is the magic number of life you want to stay above against Scape Shift, but it's hard. I mean, you fetch twice, you're at 18. Or you take 1 shock land. So, opponent just has a Scape Shift win here. They don't know that I don't have force, but I don't have force. Let's see if they have enough. Oh, it's Primeval Titan. Maybe I can beat that. They can go for like a... They're not playing like Teleria West. And they're not playing bounce lands either. They're just playing fair lands. Yeah, so now all their mountains deal 2. Or, I mean, deal 2 triggers, I mean. It'd be interesting to see what they want to go for here. They want to take out Oliphant. Interesting. Now, next turn, they can attack with Primeval Titan. And I can't really do much about it. I think just letting... I'm going to lose all my lands. So I'm going to use the food token. I think the 3 life there is worth it. It could buy me another turn. I could hit something like a Halo Forager here. Oh, there's a Traxa. Nah, I don't need to pay 2 life. Can I give it haste? I don't think I can give it haste. So next turn they attack. Say they have another Titan. That puts me to 12. And then they attack. That puts me to 6. Could they then have another Titan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. I'm not going to take the damage. I think I am going to use this Goblin's Dark Dwellers trigger. And what card do I want? I want Glimpse, because there's nothing in my graveyard. Oh, there's Oliphant Glimpse of Tomorrow. Yeah, I want Glimpse. I thought I clicked on that. Okay. All right, so I want, I think, Creature, Enchantment, because do I want, which enchantment do I want? Do I want Overlord? I think I want Sky Turtle. It gives me more play. For land, I'll take Stomping Ground. Creature, enchantment, and land. That's all I get. I only get 3. Yeah, I guess. I'm gonna go get my forest here and tap it. Oh, I should have tapped another land. Darn, I should have another mana floating. Wait, oh, I didn't use it. Oh, no. Crud. Sorry, guys, I messed that up. I mean, I guess I get to keep Atraxa in play. Yeah, I'm gonna lose my mana. Shoot. That was big dumb. Well, 16 doesn't really matter, so. Like I already spoke about. Shoot. Golly. Alright, now I have to live a turn. Opponent only has 1 card in hand, though. And I'll discard... Wave Sifter. Seems like the worst card. I get a free scry. Don't need another land. Opponent draws Primeval Titan. They can kill Atraxa. That might get a little dicey. And opponent's sitting over there. I wonder if they chatted me up. No, no one talks to me. I just gotta talk to myself. I wonder what's happening over there. Okay, I'm just gonna be quiet until they do something, which is probably gonna be Scoop, if they're thinking this hard about it. Opponent plays a land. They have 1 card in hand. They go and they get more mountains. They can trigger Valakut. Not. Oh no. No. I'm gonna block this with absolutely everything. Because now this Wood of the Hills can just shoot down Atraxa. You can deal 12 damage. But any 2 of these creatures blocking Titan kill it. And they get a Dwarven Mine. That stinking dwarf. Alright, well, I'm out of things to do. I was really hoping Force of Vigor would pick something off this game. They have to send 3 of these at Atraxa, though, or else I gain 7 life. Or they could try to spread them out more so they kill more creatures. They could go like 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, deal 1, 2, 3, kill 3 creatures. Either way, I'm left with a 4/4, which I think is pretty good. Yeah, they want to take out. They're leaving, it looks like, Curator alive. Should have blocked with Plant Token just to make it harder to click on. And now combat damage goes through. They take out 3 of my creatures. As long as they order them properly and they don't accidentally deal more damage to that Curator. Nope, they don't. Okay. We get a turn. What land do I need to play that Omnath? I need to play red. All right. I got to do that. I still think they should have gone after Atraxa, though. Is Omnath what I want to do? I had to play the land there. I think Omnath is what I want to do. Well, all right. What Cascade cards are still in my deck? I took out Search for Tomorrow. Suspend, I mean. So the only creatures I have left are Inevitable Betrayal. The only spells, I mean. Yeah. Blue, white. Unfortunately, I don't get to gain life this turn. Yeah, I don't have anything else to do. I guess I'll suspend the footy. All right, commence the beatdown. Just your classic modern board state. Should you attack with your dwarf token into Omnath, or should you use your 4 Valak at the Molten Pinnacles? Opponent has nothing. I like where that's going. I don't think I can give +1/+0. I'm just gonna play the land. Gain 4. If I could give this plant token a power, I'll start with Wits. Tapped all my red. We'll see if that haunts us. Yes, use the ability. Discard. I want to keep the lands coming, I guess. Ooh, okay. Well, I could have used Eagles last turn. Discard Force and Colony Garden, I guess. Oh, I gotta pick which of these scries I do first. Bottom. I'll top that. That should be a win next turn. And we're gonna get in there. Like swimwear. Send our opponent likely to 1. Actually, they should block. Yeah. You know, I should have bottomed that. The right move to do is actually bottom this so I could draw a Force of Negation. I didn't draw it. Whatever. That was a wasted scry. Totally wasted scry. If our opponent just casts a escape shift here, we totally deserve to lose. Nope, they just have lands. Does that kill us, though? That's 2 lands. That's 24. Opponent has 24 damage with Valakut's this turn. On top of their natural lands. All right, let's see if they can win. Do they have a 3rd land to play? No, because they still have to play 1 per turn. Boy, am I glad I drew Omnath. And our opponent didn't kill Atraxa sooner. I mean, the first play I saw that they should do was kill Atraxa. No, they're just using this to board wipe. I don't think that's good. Dang it, I should have kept that. Should have kept that Bring to Light around. I don't know what I would have cast with it, but it would have been sweet. What do I do here? Do I just cast Null Drifter? I can Eternalize. Null Drifter is basically the same thing. Okay, I guess I cast Halo Forager. Do I even have any suspend cards left in my deck? 1, 2, 3 is an exile, so Inevitable Betrayal's in my deck. Alright. I don't have black mana. I have to go get a Jund Triome. My mana is so bad. Play it. I can't cast... but I can get Inevitable Betrayal. And then that forces my opponent, even if they have a land, they have to, like, go after my, Primeval Titan that I'm going to get out of their deck. I don't even have a land I don't have a land in my hand to trigger the Cultivator Colossus if I wanted to. Veil of Summer. Okay. Well, next turn I can cast 2 of them. And I'm not going to be bouncing their Primeval Titan. That is for sure. And if this goes to a game 3, I've got to play so fast. I have to play so impossibly fast. Do they have Scape Shift? How many mountains do they have left in their deck, though? It's just Primeval Titan. It's Primeval Titan. Gosh, Bob Saget. Alright, I'm going to make them do it, though. They need to have 4 true mountains. It's unclear if they have that many. They have 9 in play. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, they've got me here. Still gonna let it wind down. Alright, we're going into Turbo Gamer mode for round number 3. Maybe I should have evoked the Null Drifter. First, try to find subtlety. Yeah, I think I made like every play wrong that game. Yeah. Okay. I wish I had a Leyline of Sanctity. Alright. Well, you can never count a good deck out, which is why I'm going to win game 3. I confirm my suspicion that Teferi is terrible. Fracturing Gust is terrible. Don't want Ingot Chewer. They don't have artifacts. I do want Foundation Breaker. I want Architect Civil back in. I think I want Murktide Regent back in over the place of... Was anything bad there? Like, Murktide could just randomly... No, I don't have that many instants and sorceries. Alright, Murktide, you had your chance. And you blew it. You blew it! Do I want Emrakul to try to cheese and win? No, I don't think so. Emrakul's more for combo, like Mill. Or just like really slow decks, where you might get multiple chances. Yeah, I want to keep. Okay. Was there any point in the last game I could have just like kind of mulliganed that? Where I could have just cast a, I'm going to keep that. And put back Endurance. Or I could have just cast Lutri and attacked. Keep. Endurance because I need the lands. Done. I'm going to go get Grixis Triumph. Wasted too much time there. I gotta go get my mouse pad so I can use my mouse quicker. I'm just playing on a wooden table right now. My mouse isn't very fast. Oops. Play. Grixis Triumph. F6. I'm gonna go grab my mouse pad. F6. Alright, I invested into a mouse pad and it didn't cost me anything. Cycle Street Wraith, I don't care about the life, because I just gotta do stuff this game. Play the Proving Ground. Force Cycle Generous Ant. What's my best forest? I think at this point my best forest is just actual forest. Okay. And we're leaning on this Fable. Hopefully we can hit like a quick living end. My graveyard is going to be pretty good. Don't want to take any additional damage. I make my token guy. Hitting a glimpse would be pretty good now. And after this game, I'm going to go do some squats because I got bad legs. Maybe I can just hard cast Foundation Breaker if they play like a Dryad here. That'd be pretty sick. I think I'm discarding 2 lands. Actually, no, I think I have to keep 1 land. I'm going to keep this Hallowed Fountain. Hallowed Fountain's my only hope of ever having white mana. What'd they do that for? Just to kill the token? Okay. Gonna discard Eagles and Misty. Yes, Misty, Eagles. That was a good one. Suspend. Colony Garden. And kind of hoping our opponent gives us something to do here because that version of that Fable the Mirror Breaker wasn't the best. Now I could set up a loop where I can make lots and lots of Night of Autumns, so maybe I'll do that. I don't think Fable on Foundation Breaker is going to matter. They don't play that many artifacts and enchantments. They only play that one. And now most cards in my deck that aren't lands are good here. I'm going to exile that. Yeah, I don't have another blue. Fudge it. I'm just going to pay the 2 life. Cast this blue spell. And ship it. And then I can start beating down. That at least gives them something to do. Like they got to start sending lightning bolts at these if they have them. Or they don't. Or they can just send them in my face. Opponent's got 4 cards in hand, 5 lands in play. In a deck that's like 50% lands, they probably have a 6th land. But they're thinking. They Brotherhood ended the token. I think it's funny they have Brotherhoods in their deck. How do you sideboard for me? Next turn I can start just making copies of Curator, which is what I think I'll do. I could also make copies of Night. Maybe better to just start gaining a lot of life. Ooh, what is the opponent doing over there? All right, I think making copies of Curator is better. Actually, let's start with this. Yeah, use the ability. I'm going to discard that and that. I think I've got enough time here to set up a glimpse. Don't need that. So I'm going to take a turn off of my beatdown plan. I could have also copied Champion of Wits. Taking a turn off of the beatdown to just attack for 6. If I were to attack for 8 this turn, I think this is still lethal next turn anyway. Yeah, this is still lethal next turn. I don't think on 5 lands they can do a lethal scape shift here. Even if they go up to 6. I think you need 7 without the Dryad. I've played scape shift decks on this channel. I just can't remember. I think the 7th land. Yeah, they're cycling with that. Did we do it, guys? I mean, they either have to kill us directly or deal with a lot of permanents here. Brotherhood's End would not get my Curator if they have another one. And they are dead next turn. Opponent Summoner's Pacts. They need another land, though, to play Titan. They could Summoner's Pact just for the Dryad. However, I can take it out with Knight of Autumn, copy Knight of Autumn, put 2 counters on the copy, and then I would attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's not lethal. If they have Knight of Autumn here, it's not lethal, but I can deal with it. Yeah, they get Dryad. If they have a land here, they can shoot down Reflection of the Mirror Breaker. But if they had a land, would they not get Primeval Titan? No, they just get more lands. Well, they can play that and then play. And we've overcome our opponent on the clock. They took a long time to play this game. This is going to be a rough video to edit. There's the Dryad. They already played their land, so they can't shoot it. They can't shoot my Reflection, I mean. Let's go ahead. Those come off of Suspend. I forgot I had all these good things in exile. That has, yeah, that's not ready yet. Come on. Dude, you're losing on time. Let my triggers resolve, man. They're just triggers. They're not going to cast a spell. Footfalls goes to 1. We go to our turn, we draw Scalding Tarn. I will play it. Cast Knight of Autismo. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Make a copy of it. Gain 4. Because it's not lethal anyway. This would put them to 1 if I hadn't, I believe. This should put them to 3. Boom, I can count. And then because I'm above 18, I'm not going to fetch. Now they have to pay that. And I think we've got them. All right. Does opponent have us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They might. Do I have... Yeah, because with 1 Valakut in play, I think they've got us. Let's just find out together. With 1 Valakut in play, this wouldn't be lethal, but with 2, I think it is. Yeah, this is like way more than enough. They've got us. They just go get a bunch of mountains. Darn. They drew it. All right, well, good games to our opponent. I'll let them have the... I'll see if we can get them to timeout. I don't think we're going to. All they got to do is click a couple more times. They might disconnect, though. Maybe these surveils will, like, trip them up. Opponent's got 40 seconds to resolve 3 surveil triggers. First one took him 8. And we're dead. Good games. Oh, darn. I thought we had this one. Oh, they don't know about auto yield. Can we do it? Can we do it? No! Opponent got us by 16 seconds. All right. I'm going to hang it up for the night. See you tomorrow. All right. You couldn't keep me away. I'm back for round number 5. I'm going to keep this. I did my squat workout. It was 10 minutes. Now I'm sweaty. This is a turn 2 suspend glimpse. If that's what I want. No, it's not. I don't have the swamps for that. Our opponents skipped their first turn, and then we drew Force of Negation, which is like the best possible opening turn sequence. That could not have gone any better. I guess I'll get the Jund to Triome, because I already have a blue land, and I can use Troll. Oh, I see what's happening. Our opponent mulligan to like Oblivion. I mean, they could probably still win. My deck is horrible. They're just not going to show us anything. Okay, I respect it. I'm just going to suspend Glimpse. Give our opponent a false sense of security. Thundering Falls. If our opponent like played a Faithless Looting this turn, they could probably still come back and win the game. Or even like a Thoughtseize. Let's get our Surveil on. Put that on top. Why not? At this point, pretty much anything goes. Opponent's up to 4 cards in hand. Like a blue-red prowess deck could conceivably win the game from here. That has one more turn. Fable is a good one. That makes 2 permanents. Let's go get basic island. Confuse our opponent for max value. And for those of you that came to see the wins and you don't necessarily care how they happen, this game is for you. I will cast Glimpse of Tomorrow. I didn't tap my mana. It's all right. Boom. A Colony Guard and Atraxa. Nice. See, I want Planeswalker, Enchantment, Creature, Land. All right, we've done it. So against unknown opponent, something makes me think that they're Dredge. Because, like, Dredge would mull, like, to 4 and then give up. But knowing nothing about them, I'm just going to bring in Foundation Breaker for Glass Dust. Foundation Breaker is, like, our most generalist card. So it's good in a lot of circumstances. That's what a generalist is. I will yield through the turn and keep. This is a turn 2 Overlord. Okay, opponent is Tron. They're Tronning over there, and they've got the counter. Good thing I brought in my single artifact disruption spell. Classic battle. Opponent has a Flesh Raker. That's not very nice. They're a big meanie. That card is uncool. I can bounce it. And I guess get Breeding Pool. There's all the colors. No, that's not white. Close enough. Yeah, use the ability. And I guess get Waker of Waves to dig. Because I can use it next turn even if I don't draw land. Alright, well, I'm glad I have this Endurance as well. I might get a free chump block. Okay, if I draw untap land, I'm going to hold up Endurance. Even though they can Kozilek's command it. Did not draw untap land, so I'll play Colony Garden. And just pass the turn. I could also troll Riverwinder. And if they go to do like a combo here, I can bounce a creature. This doesn't look like a combo matchup though. I'll just take that too. They might hit me with something bigger later. And my beard is the longest it's been in like over a decade right now because I got Poison Ivy on my face and I don't want to shave it. Although I think I'm going to shave it tonight. So for all of you at home wondering, I guess I'll take Halo Forger that could do something someday. I guess I'll Forest Cycle. I'll just get a basic Forest. And plan to block. Overlord ticking down too might do something. If I could get a free block. I mean, opponent has a lot of Eldrazi temples. Like, good lord. That's a lot of mana. Hopefully they just cast a huge friggin' other Sire of 7 Deaths. Okay. Well, they still might attack and give me a free Glaring Flesh Raker. I have a hard time saying that card. Glaring Flesh Raker. That's a lot of G's and L's. They don't. Darn it. Well, I'm still going to... No, I'm just going to cycle. This thing has Ward Pay 7. And fun fact, Troll cannot get a white mana. But if I do draw Bring to Light for 4, I could go get Foundation Breaker. I'm out of swamps. All right. Well, at least it's in my graveyard now. It can't hurt anybody there. Forgot. No, I thought I had 2 swamps. Ah, but I milled 1. All right. I don't have time to look at my graveyard, guys. All right. Bringing in... Well, I can't cast that. So instead, I will Null Drifter. All right. Sacrifice it. And I guess I can go get white mana here, bounce Sire, chump block Glaring Flesh Raker, take the 7 from the ward, cast Captured Sunlight. I don't have any artifact or enchantment destruction spells with Captured Sunlight. Block that. Okay. I didn't need to, but might as well get all my colors here. Ward Pay 7. Oh, but then they just recast it. All right. Well, I'm fully committed to the bit at this point. Maybe they F6 through their turn and they can't cast it yet. Exile it. No, they didn't exile it. All they had to do is cast Ugin. All right. I concede. But I'm just going to let them kill me. All right, so I want my artifact and enchantment destruction. Just artifact, really, but I don't have any dedicated enchantment hate, so you know what I mean. All right, now that I have a better idea of what's going on. Want that. Don't want that. Don't want that. Do want that. Want those. Want that. Want Boseiju on Night. I don't think I want Fracturing Gust. I think that's too much. And then what do I want out? I guess the things I want out are Ancestral Vision. Inevitable Betrayal is probably good enough. Footfalls is bad. So I'm a Glimpse living in Betrayal deck now. Because I have so few hits, I want Forager out. Dark Dwellers isn't the best, but it's a good hit off of Glimpse. I want to Fairy in. I think I just want my cheap stuff. That's a good discard. Guess I don't want Null Drifter. That's like our worst draw too, because it doesn't even discard. And then I'll take out... Got a lot of good 3s in the deck now. So I'm going to leave Captured Sunlight. Force of Vigor, gosh, if they had Vaccine Bauble, we're kind of screwed. Subtlety's not the best. I guess I'll take out Seasoned. It's hard to cast. There's like a new version of... Oh, I should have totally just put Steam Core Scholar in this deck. It's like better than Kiora. I built this deck before Steam Core came out. And then I recently added the Surveil Land. What else? Come on, guys. There's one cut. I guess Demonic Dread, since I tend to struggle getting black mana. Yeah. See, we don't even need it. We've got all of our colors. And we're guaranteed to hit Living End. Oh, boy. So if I draw a Living End, I pretty much can't win. I do have discard effects, though. And this is a good like Living End hand. I can go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to mulligan, though. I think I'm going to look for some interaction. Opponent's probably going to have interaction. That's good anyway. I'm going to keep and bottom Overlord. Done. Hopefully the opponent mulligans again, like to 0. That'd be cool. No, instead they have Devour. Take 2, friggin' cycle. I don't want to wait. Okay, Sky Turtle wasn't the worst. It's another blue card. So I will Force of Negation a Chalice here. Force is only good on their turn in this matchup. It's not a matchup where I'm usually going to have any time to cast it on my turn. Do I want to force that? No. I gotta save Force for something good. They could also just play Chalice afterwards. I'm cycling that Street Wraith. Alright, there's IB. We can pitch that to Force. That's not any good in our hand. We could also suspend it next turn. I don't really like that play. I think I like Fable better. But if our opponent has a really slow hand, Inevitable might do something. I'm going to do it. Let's suspend it. I don't think Sky Turtle's going to be that good this game. So I can force pitch Sky Turtle. Opponent didn't sack Star last turn. Which is a little strange. Usually they do that just to draw. Oh, they have Colorless Eldrazi spell. Sowing Myco Spawn. That sucks. I'm glad I already suspended Inevitable Betrayal. Because now, that's just friggin' awful. I hate Sowing Myco Spawn. How many times on this channel have I raged about Sowing Myco Spawn? It is a destroyer of otherwise good Magic games. I do have a third land, but if they have another Myco Spawn, I'm getting beat really bad here. Hopefully we draw an untapped land. Use Waker. Guess I'll play the Colony Garden. That makes some chump blockers. At least I got a fourth land here too. Which might be my third land again. And hopefully this Force of Negation can just bail us out long enough to steal the game somehow. I think Force might be the best card in the deck. No. No, don't cast a Kozilek's Command. They Devour. That stinks. But I can bounce it. I can save myself some life for a little bit. Hopefully I draw a blue card here, so I can do that. Boom, that's a blue card. What's better? I have a chump blocker next turn no matter what. I think it's better to get the Fable in play. They'd have to kill both of my creatures to have a huge attack, and even that doesn't kill me all the way. Alright, hopefully Force gets me out of this for one turn. Just cast like a big Planeswalker. Don't cast a big Eldrazi creature. You're not allowed. You're supposed to take those out against Cascade decks. Fleshraker is pretty good. That allows them to combo kill me. Okay. I can force that. What's way better than them having a Kozilek's command to just like do a ton of damage. What did they go after? They exiled. I can't remember what they exiled. And now I get to hopefully block this. Next turn, I Inevitable Betrayal, bounce Devourer. But they can probably combo kill me. If they have another Fleshraker, we're in trouble. Or if they have a removal spell, I'm in a lot of trouble. Are they figuring out? Yeah, they're exiling. Darn, I go to 9. No. No. This is the lamest deck ever. Eldrazi players, you are officially the lamest decks. I'm not even hiding it anymore. Summon Microspawn is the lamest card. Devour of Destiny is not much better. Boo, nobody likes you. Alright, good games. Thanks for watching, everybody.